what actually led me what actually led me to this campaign idea is something that happened just this week. I walk into my CrossFit gym and I see the owner there standing by his computer. And I go up to him and I say, "Brandon, what are you doing? You look ridiculous. You have a desk and you have a chair. Why don't you just sit down?" And he tells me, "Well, my hip has been locking up, my knees have been really tight, even my calves have been sore." And this guy he's a really strong, really athletic man, and yet even he is complaining and attributing it to sitting too much. Um, and so I say, okay, that seems pretty valid. And this story wouldn't have had much of an impact on me. But 2 years ago, I had to compete at a grappling nationals, and I had a shoulder injury. So I had to go get it worked on, and naturally I went to St. Liam's right here at Notre Dame. But talking to the head therapist, he actually told me that the most common injury, and this is pretty ironic that there are injuries at all at Notre Dame, because St. Liam's doesn't deal with any athletes. So he tells me that the most common injury for faculty and students, it's actually neck and wrist injuries. And I laugh at first, but then I think, oh my god, it's because we're sitting all day and staring at computer screens that we actually injure our necks. So most of his clients, they come in just to get their neck massaged. And that is what I want to talk about today. I am making this media campaign to propose that there has to be some kind of change in our education program, at the very least here at Notre Dame, to counter sitting. It seems so basic. Like, look around, I'm gonna bet that you're probably sitting right now, and probably everyone around you is all probably also sitting. But it's like, it seems like such a basic thing, but if you I actually went and found this infographic, and I put the link in the description, and a box should also come up right here. And the infographic is called "Sitting Down is Killing You." It's a pretty bold statement, but what their argument is that you sit over 9 hours a day, which, if you think about working an 8-hour job or going to school, 9 hours a day is not that outlandish if you think about homework time too. And that would mean that you would sit more than you sleep in a day. Obviously, this is different because Notre Dame students, we don't sleep at all. 4 or 5 hours is awesome for us. But it's not to say that sitting is going to kill you. If I sit in this chair, I'm not just going to combust and die or something. But it's that sitting can lead to other things, primarily, which is what a recent Time magazine article and this infographic and what I've read on health magazines, they're saying that sitting leads to things like obesity, increased risk of obesity. And in America, we are the best at everything, and we are also the best at obesity. We are ranked 1 in the world in terms of obesity rates, and we have 1/3 of our adults are obese and 1/5 of our children are obese. And that, I don't think people can even wrap their head around what that means. That's a staggering number, but this is still something that can be changed if we just start here at Notre Dame. Obviously, I can't say that, hey, maybe we should have less class time, because no one is going to vote for that. But it's to say that, let's think about the dining hall, for example. The dining hall, we have organic food, locally grown, so we have all these fresh food opportunities, but it's not just about eating well. I mean, physical activity is also a big component. And maybe Notre Dame could look into something like promoting more physical activity for their students, instead of just spectator events where it's a sporting event, but you go there and you don't have to do anything sporty. You just go and you sit down for another 2-3 hours, which defeats the purpose of a sporting event if only less than 1% of the people are actually doing anything active. To my knowledge, I don't know of any other campaign that has done anything like this, but if you think about how important this could be, you start at Notre Dame, and okay, it's 10,000 people, but 10,000 people becomes the community of South Bend, becomes the state of Indiana, and that can spread because of the influence that people have just considering something like our education today. Like, we have a voice for the next generation, and we can do something with that. I can't think of any ideas to do this, but I know for a fact that if our education is going to make us more in tune with the world around us, even if it costs an obscene amount of money, if it helps us to better understand the world, it would be nice if I got to live a little longer just to understand it a little more. So this is my media campaign. I think we need to do something with all the sitting at Notre Dame. And it sounds ridiculous, but think about it, and then try to think about how much you sit a day or how much you stare at a screen all day. That includes your phone, your laptop, your iPad, and if you don't know anyone who has an iPad, the guy who assigned this, he has an iPad. Just saying. Alright, thank you.